I'm going to say this now before we start this segment. Referees cannot make up a 27-point run by a team. Bottom line, Alabama came out and put it on us, smacked us in the mouth in the second half. Bottom line. Referees cannot make up 27 points unanswered. Can't do it. However, no one watching that game could ignore the fact that the officiating did have an outcome on the game. So with that being said, Rustin, I present to you our new segment. It's time to play What's a Penalty? Yeah, baby.
Are we sending this to the home office?
We should.
It's at SEC officiating on Twitter.
Yeah. So, Rustin, our new game here, What's a Penalty? Rustin, I'm going to show you 5 sets of images. Now, just so you know, if you get this, there's one question at the end of these 5 images. I'm going to ask you, according to SEC officials, professional officials, trained by the greatest conference in the land.
Trained is a loose term.
I'm going to show you these images. And at the end of these 5, I would like for you to tell me how many images were actually called penalties or actually are penalties based on SEC officials, their determination of the rules. Okay. So kind of some of them are going to be tricky, Rustin. I'm not kidding. Okay. So if you get all of them correctly, you win $5,000 from our sponsor.
Me?
Well, we don't have one yet, but if when we get one, you will get $5,000 from them if you answer this correctly. Okay. All right. First one. Now, Rustin, some people could claim that the gentleman in crimson is holding on to the gentleman in white. Some people could claim that. He might just giving him a nice hug because he likes him. Okay. But it looks like maybe his left hand, this is a simultaneous image, by the way, 2 different angles. It might be that his left hand is holding on to the back of his shoulder pads. Maybe. Can't tell for sure here. It might be that his right arm is wrapped around his neck. So this is number 1. Looks like it could be a holding call. Maybe not. The official will determine. And here's the thing, Rustin, you got to remember, the head referee on that image on the right
is standing 5 yards from it.
That is correct. He's about 5 yards away off the screen on the left. And so clearly he's got a great angle on this, Rustin. So that's option 1. Okay, that's first option. The second image, the gentleman in the top of the screen who seems to be giving a nice bear hug to the receiver running, that's Squirrel White running the route. It looks like his arm is wrapped around him before the ball got to him. So this is the second one. Here's the third one. Now, it does seem as though potentially Tyler Barron's jersey is being pulled or tugged just a smidge. So, matter of fact, I think I can see the ties on the middle of his shoulder pads through the hole in the shirt there. But it could be holding. It might not be. We'll have to see.
I actually don't think that one's a hold, but okay.
And now this one, it kind of looks like they've moved Dylan Sampson's whole helmet to the left a little bit by the face mask area. Maybe a face mask. We'll have to wait and see what the SEC officials, because they're the experts, they know. And then this last one is actually a little video clip that's 4 seconds long. Now, it looks like there, I'll play it one more time. It looks like, so when I was a kid growing up playing Little League Baseball, if someone came in with their cleats high when they slide, that was considered not sportsmanlike to come in with your cleats high to the person applying the tag. So, but this is football, so it could, in Division I football, so it could be totally different. But it would seem as though Jermaine Burton uses both cleats to shove Danico Slaughter off of him, cleating him with both cleats. Okay, Rustin, moment of truth. What's a penalty? How many of those were called penalties?
None of them were. Probably 4 of them.
$5,000 right there.
Well, I shouldn't say 4. Probably 3 of them should have been. 2. The third image, honestly, his hands are inside his shoulders. I used to teach offensive linemen to do that, so I don't think that's a hold. When you keep your hands inside your shoulders, it is what it is. It's your job to get him off of you. But the fourth one, yeah, it's a face mask, but it's in the middle of the trash. It'd be hard for a ref to see that. And
I understand that.
And his hand probably slipped off that mask pretty fast after that happened. So it would be hard for a ref to see that. The first one, honestly, in my opinion, isn't a hold. It's illegal hands to the face. It should have been a 15-yarder. That right there, like that is textbook illegal hands to the face. That should have been a 15-yarder. The pass interference on Squirrel absolutely should have been called. And then Jermaine Burton should have had a 15-yard unsportsmanlike for kicking somebody like a little child laying on the ground. That was just garbage.
And once again, I said before we started this segment, the referees cannot make up 27 unanswered points. That's on Tennessee. However, here's why 2 of these plays were actually very, very critically mismanaged by the officials. So this play right here was the touchdown pass to start the second half, when this should be a 15-yard penalty, just like you said, illegal hands to the face. That's a 15-yard penalty. And so instead of a touchdown, now it was 1st and 25 from the 35-yard line, because I think this was snapped on the 50. And so 1st and 25 with 0 points on tallying on the board from this play instead of a touchdown, and they get 7 out of this. That's a big deal. Like that's a big deal. Talk about a momentum killer in a drive. Instead of 1st and 10, you score, it's 1st and 25. Like they may not make a first down after that. That's 7 points that never make it on the board right there. So that's a big play. No one can say this didn't impact the outcome of the game, because it did. And 1 score is a big deal. Instead of being a 2-score game at the end, it's a 1-score game. We're trying to go down and tie the game instead of trying to get 2 scores at the end. I mean, that's a big deal. But then personally, I feel like this was also a very critical play, because that should have been 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct on Jermaine Burton, which would have been assessed on the kickoff. So wait a second. Instead of, and their kicker had been kicking the ball about 1 to 2 yards deep in the end zone the whole game, which I really wish they had let D bring out one time. But instead of that ball landing in the end zone, now that ball is landing on somewhere between the 10 to 15-yard line. And D has a whole field to return it to. So the most electric return man in the game actually gets a chance to return one. Who knows what he does with it? If he gets out to midfield, all of a sudden, that's way different. That's a way different situation. So, I mean, really, so they end up getting the ball on the 25-yard line after the kickoff. If he gets out to the 40 or 50 even, that's a 15 to 25-yard difference right there in that one play. So those 2 certainly impacted the outcome of the game. No one objectively can say that they can't, that they did not impact the outcome. They did. They 100% did.